Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Smackdown review. And this is going to be a review on this past Tuesday's edition of Smackdown, which was the August 6th edition. And Tuesday's Smackdown was from the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. And of course, this was SmackDown's go-home show for SummerSlam, which is this Sunday. And I gotta say, this SmackDown, I thought was a shitty show, in my opinion. This was a garbage show, garbage go-home show. And that's my opinion. This SmackDown was fucking shitty. So let's get on with the review. So SmackDown opened up on Tuesday with Charlotte coming out. Charlotte came out, she got on the mic, and she ends up saying, every time she steps foot in the ring, we witness greatness. Charlotte goes on to say, most of us dream of greatness, we strive for it, we desire it. She says, but sadly, we don't have the genetics to achieve it. She says, so at the end of the day, either we quit, lie to ourselves, or end up doing something else. Just like Trish Stratus, who was, Charlotte's opponent at SummerSlam on Sunday. So she ends up saying, a 7-time champion who opted to do something different when the business changed. She's talking about Trish. She says, she has a family and a minivan. And she ends up saying that, Trish wants that big comeback match in her home country. And Charlotte ends up telling her, not only will her dream not come true, she's going to shatter it at SummerSlam. So Charlotte then ends up rolling a video package. And the video package was meant to be a highlight package of Charlotte's own career. But unfortunately, the video package was a highlight of Trish's own career, which was really cool. Which after it was over, you saw Charlotte, not liking that. And so Trish ends up coming out. Trish gets on the mic. She points out that Charlotte doesn't like it. And she ends up saying that she ran that video to remind Charlotte of why she's here and why she gets these opportunities. And Trish ends up saying that she's been dreaming of one more match. And, maybe for her family and kids. But, to prove it to herself. So Trish ends up saying, Charlotte may be the queen, but in the end, she's not her. So that's what she was talking. That's what Charlotte said to Trish. Sorry, I got my my notes mixed up here. So after when Charlotte said that, Trish ends up slapping Charlotte across the face, which was pretty much not a hard slap, but still it was just a regular slap. But after when Trish ended up slapping Charlotte, we saw Charlotte just laughing there. She ends up leaving the ring, and that's how the segment ended. But it was cool seeing Trish again. She still looks great. She still, has the moves in the ring. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to the match at SummerSlam between Charlotte and Trish. So, all in all, the opening to SmackDown with Charlotte and Trish, it was decent. in my opinion. So then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Goldberg's music ended up playing. And we all thought Goldberg was going to be, was on SmackDown. Unfortunately, Dolph Ziggler, ends up mocking Goldberg. He does Goldberg's entrance, makes his way out to the ring. And the match was supposed to be Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler. So, after Dolph does his own mocking entrance to, Goldberg's entrance, Rey Mysterio comes out. So, when Rey Mysterio comes out, Dolph then blindsides Rey Mysterio before the match could even begin. So the match never really got underway. So Dolph was being down on Rey. He was tearing at Rey's mask. Ends up laying a super kick to Rey. So Charles Robinson, who was the referee, he comes down. He ends up calling for help for Mysterio. But Dolph ends up pulling Rey back up. And he lays Mysterio with one more super kick. So, that was that. He took out Mysterio. And then he gets in the ring. He gets on the mic. And he talks about how he took down another legend. How he took, another legend out. And he says he's pledging to do the same thing every time. Dolph ends up saying the nostalgia isn't enough. He ends up saying Goldberg says he's next. So Dolph ends up saying, guess what? He does what he does best on Sunday, which is to end the legend of Goldberg. And so Mustafa Ali ends up running down, to save, Mysterio. And then we had the match. Dolph Ziggler versus Mustafa Ali, which was a meh match, in my opinion. Not that good of a match. Dolph Ziggler ends up winning. Super kick to Mustafa Ali. There you go. Dolph Ziggler ends up winning. Very meh match. Then we had Kayla Braxton. She was interviewing Roman Reigns. Roman ends up saying that he's been through so much this year. So many obstacles and adversity. He ends up saying he always knew what was attacking him. He goes on to say he doesn't know what's going on, or who's attacking him, or why he's getting attacked. He says he's in the dark. Roman is talking about how, this has affected his life and his ability to provide for his family. He says, as far as who did it, he knows it wasn't Samoa Joe. Because he was there on Monday night. He was in the parking garage where that car, slammed into the car that Roman was in. And Joe was calling for help. So I guess because of that, they're trying to make Joe now a baby face. Because he was calling for help for Roman. So because of that, Roman looked at the camera and he apologized to Joe. He apologized to Joe for dragging his name through the mud. He ends up saying, somebody's still out there and that he's seen the footage and he has questions. So Roman ends up saying he's going to get some answers. And pretty much that's how the interview ended. So I'm going to get to that later on, because the question as to who's doing this to Roman, was revealed at the end of SmackDown. So I'll get to that. And as I say, what a shitty way that they did this whole storyline with who attacked Roman. I'll get to that. So then we had Ember Moon versus Natalya. Did not care for it. The match ended in a double countout. Ember Moon and Natalya were battling outside the ring. And Natalya had Ember Moon in the sharpshooter. And that's when the referee, I think it was Jessica Carr, who's from NXT. She referees in NXT. She ended up, calling the match. Ended up being a double count out. So Natalya still had Ember in the sharpshooter when the match was called. So that brought out Bayley. Bayley ended up coming down, making the save. And that was that. So double count out for Ember and Natalya. That's all I gotta say. Then we had the Kevin Owens show. Kevin Owens was out, of course. Owens ends up beckoning Shane to come out so that they could get this done with. And Shane ends up coming out. And, of course, he makes Greg Hamilton do his, best in the world. Owens ends up cutting off the entrance. He ends up saying that we've heard it enough, which we did. We don't need to hear it every single time. Yes, he's the best in the world. Not really, though. So, Owens ends up saying that he called Shane out here for a specific reason. And that the people have asked him over and over why Shane's career isn't also on the line at SummerSlam. He says the answer to that is simple. It's his last name, because he's a McMahon. So he can say whatever he wants and do whatever he wants. He ends up saying the thing is, ever since then, people have been relentless. And that he's heard them loud and clear. And that he's changed his mind. And he says he's trying to appeal to whatever pride Shane has, or maybe that ego of his. He says, but since they always talk about giving the people what they want, he's asking for Shane to put his career on the line at SummerSlam. And be the man he says he is. So Shane ends up thinking about it for a second, about, putting his career on the line at SummerSlam. So Shane goes, no. Shane says it's Kevin Owens' ego that got him in trouble in the first place. And he says, and he ends up running over a number of scenarios that will force Kevin Owens to have to quit. He says from pinfall to submission to count out and so on. He ends up saying no matter how it ends, Shane will be rid of him. So Kevin Owens asks if the point of this whole thing is that he's not going to do it. And Shane ends up confirming it. Kevin Owens says that surprises him because after all these years of death-defying acts he's opposed to, he ends up saying everyone, that he's exposed to everyone that he really doesn't have, that Shane doesn't have any balls. Which, I laughed at. So, Kevin Owens drops the mic, and Shane says he can see the hostility in Owens' eyes. So, They end up clearing the ring. Kevin Owens throws the chairs aside. And then we see Elias. Poor Elias ends up doing a sneak attack on Kevin Owens. But Kevin Owens ends up fighting both Shane and Elias off because it was a 2-on-1 assault on Kevin Owens. They end up brawling to the floor, over the table. Kevin Owens ends up stun Elias, does a stunner to Elias on the table. Shane ends up pulling Kevin Owens down, starts punching and booting Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was laid out. And so we see Shane takes the announce table and he tips the announce table on top of Kevin Owens. And Shane then laid a chair on Kevin Owens' face. And Shane ends up hitting a running drop kick into the chair to Kevin Owens. So then we hear Shane gets in Kevin Owens' face, starts berating Kevin Owens, ends up slapping Owens a few times. And that's how the segment ended. But I thought the segment, I liked it. With Kevin Owens. So then we had Sami Zayn. After that, we had Sami Zayn. He made his entrance. He calls out Alistair Black for not responding to his challenge. And he ends up calling Alistair Black a coward for not responding. So then we see Alistair Black. Alistair Black's entrance music hits. Alistair Black has a mic. And he ends up telling Sami that their match isn't happening at SummerSlam. It's happening right now. Which shocked Sami Zayn. So we had the match. Aleister Black versus Sami Zayn. And in my opinion, this was a good match. This was a good match between the both of them. Back and forth between Black and Zayn. Alistair did a decent job here. Very enjoyable here. Alistair won the match. Black Mass to Sami Zayn. All in all, good match. Good match from the both of them. Very enjoyable, in my opinion. Then we had Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin. He was interviewed backstage about, the idea of him competing for the Jobber Ninja Turtle 24/7 title. Then, we've seen Shelton Benjamin. He's just looking around, like, rolling his eyes. Starts to speak, and he says, I think, well. And then he just walks off. So basically that's Shelton Benjamin. Rolled his eyes, like, made some faces, thinking, like that. Yeah, this is what Shelton Benjamin has to be now. What WWE is making Shelton Benjamin do. This isn't the first time we see Shelton Benjamin do this. A couple of months, like a month ago on SmackDown, we see him do that, where he's just having facial expressions like smiling like that. I don't know what WWE is doing with Shelton Benjamin. Guy has been in catering. Then we have Firefly Funhouse. We see Huskus the Pig Boy. He was lying there in candy and filth. And Bray Wyatt comes. Bray Wyatt ends up comparing Huskus to sweets, Huskus addiction to candy, to sweets, to Finn Balor. He's letting the Fiend walk right up to his doorstep. And Bray Wyatt talks about how they've hurt for so long. And it's Balor's turn to hurt now. Of course, it made it funny where Bray Wyatt ends up going, "Yowie, wowie," and then he starts laughing, which I found funny. And then, of course, Bray Wyatt ends with the whole, "Let me in." And, you hear "just let me in," and it shows the Fiend. I liked this Firefly Funhouse. I gotta say, I shitted on it when it first debuted, but now it's starting to grow on me. I'm actually starting to like these Firefly Funhouse promos with Bray Wyatt. I think it's very fun. Hopefully WWE doesn't screw with Bray Wyatt, with the Fiend, with the whole Fiend stuff, because this, in my opinion, is the best thing on WWE television so far, with Bray Wyatt and the Fiend and the Firefly Funhouse promos. And yes, we're going to get Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam, but now, from what I'm seeing, it's only going to be Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. The Demon is not facing Bray at SummerSlam, which is disappointing, because that would have been cool. The Demon versus the Fiend, that would have been awesome to see. But no, WWE wants to go with regular Finn Balor, not the Demon, against Bray Wyatt. Can you imagine? It would have been really awesome to see, both of them as, the Demon and the Fiend go at it. Then we had Chad Gable. He was exercising. Elias rolls up to tell him, to get his bands away from his guitar. So we had Chad Gable apologize. And Elias says he's sorry because he thought Chad was a child. So Elias ends up quoting lyrics from that song "Short People," which is a good song. And he asks if he's got a problem. And Chad Gable ends up backing down. Elias ends up walking off. So I guess, we're going to get possibly a match now. Chad Gable versus Elias. Who knows, what they're going to, who knows when that's going to happen. But I can sense WWE putting that together. We're going to possibly see Chad Gable versus Elias. Then we had the main event. The New Day versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Tag team match. I say this was a decent match. I was back and forth between them. Xavier and Big E. There was no Kofi here. Kofi wasn't here. And Xavier and Big E, they're fun. They're entertaining here. And the match ended in a disqualification. Rowan ended up hitting Xavier with the steps, and it caused the ref to call the match, and then the disqualification. After Rowan ended up hitting Xavier with the steps, he ended up laying out Big E with the steps. Big E was outside. And then we just had a beatdown on Xavier and Big E from both Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Daniel Bryan ended up beating down on Xavier Woods. Rowan ended up hitting the Iron Claw to Big E. Then Daniel Bryan ended up laying out Xavier Woods with the running knee. All in all, it's a decent match. And then we had Roman Reigns. He was strolling along. He's in the men's locker room. Roman asks everybody to leave that was in the locker room, all except Buddy Murphy. So Roman ends up sitting down with Buddy Murphy. He tells Buddy Murphy that he saw him there, and he needs to know if he did it. So Buddy Murphy ends up begging off, and Roman explains that it's the thing with the forklift, and that he saw Buddy Murphy in the hallway, and either Buddy Murphy did it, or that Buddy Murphy knows who did it. So Buddy Murphy ends up telling Roman he doesn't know who did it. So Roman ends up getting up. He says to Buddy Murphy, he'll ask one more time. And if he doesn't get what he wants, it won't end well for him. So Buddy Murphy says to Roman that he doesn't want any trouble, and he doesn't know who did it. He says to Roman, even if he did do it, he wouldn't tell Roman a damn thing. So Roman ends up getting up. He ends up hitting a right hand to Buddy Murphy, throws Buddy Murphy into a trash can and across the table. And Roman demands to know who did it. And he ended up holding Buddy Murphy on the wall while he was saying, who did it? Buddy Murphy ends up saying, "Oh, Eric Rowan, Rowan did it." He says he didn't see Daniel Bryan. He only just saw Rowan. So Reigns ends up relenting Buddy Murphy. We cut back and we see Daniel Bryan and Rowan watching the Titantron from the ring. And pretty much that's how SmackDown ended. But this whole storyline, this whole who did it to Roman thing, it's fucking rushed. The only reason why, after a week's storyline, they ended just like that. The only reason why they did this is to get this to SummerSlam. So we might have at SummerSlam be Roman and Samoa Joe maybe versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Who knows? WWE hasn't officially announced it yet. It's not booked for SummerSlam yet. Hopefully, possibly WWE might make that match official maybe tomorrow or Saturday. Who knows? But this whole storyline, there was no creativity here. There was no logic. This was done in such a shitty way. You gave this storyline a week, and already it's over. With them saying Rowan did this to Roman. You see that storyline that they did in NXT, which was one of the best storylines, where they were going around questioning who attacked Alistair Black. If you remember that whole storyline NXT, they had everyone question. They went into William Regal's office. It was done perfectly. It was maybe a month or 2-month storyline. It was done perfect. Here, WWE half-assed this and did it in a week. They rushed this just to get to SummerSlam. It was absolute fucking garbage. Garbage storytelling. There's no logic that was in the storyline. So there you go. Buddy Murphy just spoiled who Roman's attacker is. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Yeah, so who knows? It possibly could not have been Rowan. So, but if they continue this storyline, we'll see where this goes. So anyways, that's it for the SmackDown review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. And definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. And until next video, I may do another video tonight. Got another unboxing video to do. Got that shirt from WWE Shop that I said it was coming in. If you saw my WWE Shop t-shirt unboxing video that I posted. So that should be the next video coming up tonight. So definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and until the next video, which will be the unboxing video, I'll see you all later.